Hello everyone, myself Srinivas. I am a full stack developer. In this session, we are going to learn front end development. Before we get started on front end, let's understand what is web development. Web development is the work involved in developing a website. What is a website? Website generally contains a web page. And there are two types of websites, static website and dynamic website. So what is a static website? Static website is something that the content will not change directly. So in this website, the content is not changing. It will never change unless we go and update the code for that particular website. Now, whereas dynamic website, there is a database or there is a backend integration. It can change, right? So these stocks can change every day to day. Tomorrow, if I come back and I refresh the page, the content may change, the time may change, right? So dynamic website content will change without a code change. All right. So we will be learning in a web application. Generally, it contains front end, back end, and database. So what is a front end? So front end is something that users can see on their web browser. So a web browser is nothing but where you are accessing in the machine with the help of internet, like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, all those are web browsers. So what user is able to see on their browsers, that is what the front end. The content, the buttons, the links, whatever customer is seeing. Whereas backend contains the application layer. So it contains the business logic. So once the customer enters the username and password, you click on login, an application layer can check whether this user is available in the database or not. And database is something where it stores all the user details. So backend may contain different technologies like Java, PHP, Python, or .NET. Even in the database, we have multiple database options like Oracle DB, MySQL, Postgres, etc. In this session, we will be learning and focusing on front end. So when we are learning front end development, we need to focus on HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Now, what is HTML? HTML is a standard markup language for creating a web page. So if you want to create a web page or if you want to create a website, you need to use HTML. And HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So you can see here how it looks like. So all these are HTML elements, and when you write some content in it, it displays in the web browser. So basically, HTML is a markup language to create web pages, and multiple web pages combine to form a website. For example, if you go back here for a facebook.com, this is the index page. And when you click on forgot password, it takes you to the different page, that is login identity. So a website can have a single page or multiple pages. And HTML uses a built-in tags enclosed in angle brackets. So you can see here every HTML element will have opening and close tag. So this HTML, these are angle brackets. This is the opening HTML tag and this is the closing HTML tag. Likewise, we have so many HTML elements, paragraph, H1, etc. So HTML, when you write some code, you need to save a file. For example, an image contains .jpg, whereas a web page extension will have .html. Now coming to CSS, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it describes how HTMLs are displayed on the screen. So you can see that in the previous example, without styles it looks plain, and when you apply some styles like a background color and the text color, it looks more beautiful. And let's see some important plugin. So if you go to Chrome and type Chrome Web Developer, and there is some plugin that will help you to understand the difference between HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So click on Web Developer and click on Add to Chrome. It will ask a pop-up. Click on Add Extension. And once you click on Add Extension, you click on the plugins and click on the pin, and make sure you can see that the plugin is installed here. Now go back to the Facebook site and then click on the extension and click on CSS, and let's disable all styles. Now you can see that without a style how a page looks like. So, and you can see right click and view page source. This is an image, so you can right click view page source. You can see there is a HTML tag, there is head tag, link tag, etc. Now when you enable back the styles, you can see the web page looks more beautiful. So CSS always makes our website more beautiful, and CSS describes how the elements are displayed. Next is JavaScript. JavaScript is the programming language. It can change the HTML content. Example, if you go back here and click on create new account, now I can see there is a content and there are styles, like the button I can see green, but I want to check whether the user details, I want to change something here when customer or user do not enter this information. I click on sign up. You can see a nice example that it is changing our HTML page or HTML form when you are not submitting the data or when you are not filling the form. So a JavaScript is a programming language that you can change the HTML content, and you can update your DOM and you can manipulate your DOM. We will see that in our future videos. Now HTML contains various tags and their attributes. So we will understand what is the difference between a tag and their attribute. And we will also know what are the different styles and how to write the styles in the HTML. And we will use some HTML tables and forms, and then understand the importance of entities, symbols, like how we can include the copyright symbol, @ symbols, and the character sets. Now, where do you write your HTML code, right? So HTML code, if you want to write, you need a text editor. So in Windows, you can use Notepad, Notepad++, Visual Studio, Eclipse, etc. to develop the HTML. And when you write some code, you need to save that in .html or .htm. And today in the market, we have different IDE that can help us to develop a web page. So one is Notepad, Notepad++, Sublime, WebStorm, Atom, Eclipse, Visual Code. Now we will see how to write the code is Visual Code. All right. Now click on search. notepad. All right, now once the notepad is open, we are good to start. And now here I'll create doc type. We will see what is the purpose of doc type, but I'm just showing you how to write the code in the editor. I have created open and close HTML. I'll create the body tag. Now I'll create h1, welcome to HTML page. All right, once after writing our code or the HTML elements, you can click on file, click on save, and you can go back to the desktop folder and create one folder like web pages. Inside this web pages, I'll save it as first HTML page .html. This is very important to save the extension in the form of .html and click on save. So once the file is available, you can go to the web pages and just double click on that. It will open the page in the web browser. You can see the code is now available. Now going back to the notepad, it is very hard to remember or close the structure, right? For example, if I go here and open again with notepad, all right, if I miss something here like the body tag, whether we don't know whether this is closed properly or not, right? So here if I just say body and there is a typo here, I did not close the body properly. And to avoid these kind of issues, we will go and create the HTML page in the notepad++. So let's see how to download that. Okay, so for that, go back to the Chrome browser and type notepad++ download, and you can go to the first link and use the latest version and click on download. Okay, so once the download is available, show in folder, you can just double click on this and click on yes, click on OK, click on next, agree, and just click on next, create the shortcut key. All right, so now our notepad++ is available in our Windows computer. So the advantage is that you can click on file, click on new, and so in notepad++, just click on file, click on new, and here you can choose the language like the HTML or Java. So I'll choose the HTML, and now you can type HTML file. Okay, if you see here, we can easily find, like we can see the opening and closing tags with the help of the editor, right? And now I'll create h1 element, welcome to second page. Now once after creating this, click on file, click on save, and we can just type second page. And you can see here, no need to type the extension here. The since the language is already chosen, it gives a suggestion that it is going to save in the form of HTML. Click on save. After saving this, go back to the folder. You can see the second page. Just double click on that. Okay, now it opens the web page. Okay, now due to the limitations from the Notepad++ and Notepad, every developer is started using Visual Code. So Visual Code is the best IDE for developing the front-end application. So let's get started in downloading that. You can type Visual Code download, and you can choose here the code.visualstudio.com. Click on this, and since we are using Windows, we can click on this link. Once the download is completed, you can click on the Visual Code file. You can click on accept and next and install. So Visual Studio Code will help us in IntelliSense. What is IntelliSense? We will see now. All right. So now you can see by default, once you open for the first time, it will ask you to choose the theme. I'll just choose the dark theme, and you can just close this one and click on file. You can open your folder. So few minutes back, we have in the desktop, we created a web pages folder. Select that one, and you can see that just click on yes, and you can see on the left side it is showing you the HTML pages. Now to create a new page, simply click on this plus icon. It will create a file, and you can name it as third page .html. When I say IntelliSense, here you no need to write the HTML from the scratch, right? So I simply type HTML colon 5, enter. You can see here it creates the template, right? The doc type, HTML head, and the body. You can simply type. If I want to use H1, I'll just type H1 and press enter. You can see open tag and close tag is automatically created. And now I type welcome to third page, right? And just file, click on file and click on save. Now to open this file, you can simply click on run. Chrome. You can see now welcome to third page is now open. So in Visual Studio Code will help us to write the script easily, and it will also give the suggestions, right? So if I'm using some anchor tag, a tag, and here I want href is an attribute. If I want to type href, it automatically populates the attributes which belongs to the anchor tag. So this is how Visual Studio Code will help us to write faster.
Okay, now we have seen how to write the code in Visual Code in Windows, right? Now let's see how to write the code in online tools. So we have seen that, okay, we need to install Visual Code and then we need to write. Also, we have some online tools that we can easily go to the browser and write the code. For that, you need internet connection. Okay, so let's go here. There are multiple online HTML editors like JS Fiddle, JS Bin, CodePen, Dablet, CSS Deck. I'll show you a couple of examples now. Okay, all right. So you can type JS Fiddle, and you can see here JS Fiddle code play background. I'll give you these links in the description. Okay, so you can see now there are multiple sections like HTML, CSS, and result, right? So here, if I want to write some H1 tag and press tab, okay? If I want to use some heading, just type H1 and press tab and say welcome to web page. and simply click on run. Okay, now you can see the content is displayed here. Similarly, if I want to write some paragraph, just type P and this is first para, and again click on run. So like this, you can use multiple um, options like JS bin, CSS deck. I personally prefer CSS deck, which is very simple. So go to CSS deck and just click on the first one. Okay, so now here you can just simply type cssdeck.com and you can simply click on new. So here you can see, okay, right now you are not writing JavaScript. You can take that out and you can type like h1, welcome to CSS deck h1. So the beauty is that you no need to run. You can, as you type, it executes here, right? So if I just type some color, background color or text colors, color colon red, it automatically applies. Okay, so since we have multiple options, you can prefer um, the best one. Okay, so yes, we have JS bin, CodePen, Dablet, and CSS deck, right? Next we will see in Visual Code we will write the HTML page, and we'll just understand the structure now. Okay, so let's open the Visual Code. So here I have created a demo site folder. So you know that I'm using Mac now. It's the same process. You install the Visual Code and click on Open Folder, and you choose your folder. Or if you don't have any folder, create a new one. So I just created a demo site. All right. Okay, so to create a page, we know that we just simply click on this icon, new file, and here I'll write first webpage.html. So once you type this .html and you want to write the structure, right? So simply I'll go with HTML colon 5. Okay, so once you type HTML colon 5, it creates the template. Okay, you can close this now, and okay, so you can see that doc type. What is the purpose of doc type? Since you mentioned HTML colon 5, it is creating the HTML5 version. Okay, so doc type indicates that we are using HTML5. And what is the difference between HTML4 and HTML5? We will see in future. Okay, all right. So now HTML is the basic element, right? It opens with HTML and it says language is equal to English. So it indicates that we are going to create an English website. Okay, so this is right now, this is optional. You can take this out. Okay, and if you want to keep it, you can just keep it. And head element, right now you can see you are indicating some meta. So meta is, customer is not going to see this one. It's basically for the browser understandability that we are going to use UTF character set. So like you use at the rate symbol, or you use some other special character sets, then we are going to understand deeply about the character set. Okay, so and these are basically the responsive design. No need to worry about this. We will understand deeply on this. And now the title element. So title element, okay, once we have this file, click on file and save. Now let's understand the title element, right? So how do we open this file? You can click on the folder where you have saved this, right? So I have it in documents, web development, demo site. You can see that the first web page is created. Okay, the first web page is created, and we'll just double click on that. So once you open that, you can see here the web page shows document. So document is nothing but the title. We have given the title as the document. So if I change this to first page and click on save, Control S and go back and refresh. So you can see first page is now displayed. And now we will write some H1 element. H1 is the heading. So you simply type H1 and press enter. So you can say welcome to first page. Control S, go back and refresh. You can see that. Okay. So right now, as we are writing here and saving this and opening the Chrome browser and refreshing, right? It is hard to proceed like this. So what we will do is, since we are using Visual Code, we can install some extensions. Okay, so you can see on the left side there are five icons. Click on the last icon and simply type live preview. Simply type live preview. You can see here there is a icon live preview. Click on this and click on install. That's it, right? Now you can close this and go back to the first project or the explorer. And now right click on this, you can see there is an option live preview. There is an option. When you right click on it, you'll see the live preview option. So just click on that. So you can see that on the right side it opens the page. So if I want to modify here, you can simply modify and you can see our page is updating, okay, with the title. Okay, now we can close this. So it's pretty much about how we use the extension and to make it more easy. All right, coming back to this. So we have seen that elements are single components in the HTML script, and HTML documents are developed using HTML elements. So you go to any web page, every web page basically contains the HTML elements, and we have seen that HTML elements, they have the starting tag, opening tag, which is this one, and closing tag. And now element start will have the start tag and end tag and the content in between. So wherever you see the content option, this is like whatever we write in between this open tag and close tag, that is called content. All right. So as we have seen, we have the h1 tag and h1 opening and close tag. H1 is the header tag, and whatever the content we write, that is the data, or some people say content. HTML are not case sensitive. That means you can write in capital letters or small letters. Okay, but try to use the same across the project. All right, now next topic is nesting of elements. So nesting is nothing but an element inside another HTML is called nesting of elements. So you can see here, I have the body tag. I have the body tag. Inside body tag, I have created, and if you go back to the here, right, in the head element, it has the meta and title. And in the HTML, there are multiple chains, right? In the inside HTML, we have head. Inside body, we have h1. So any element contains a child one more element, that is basically nesting elements. So we have seen like h1 tag and p tag can be used inside a body. Right now we have seen only h1 tag. You can simply write paragraph, right? P tag and enter. This is a para, and save this. So now inside body there are two tags, so those are nested elements. Yes, you can see this example body h1 and p. So inside body you have h1 and paragraph, and this is how you will see that. Now next thing is very important topic, HTML attributes. So HTML elements can have attributes. What are attributes? Attributes specify some additional information about HTML elements. So for example, if I go back here, and you can see in the visual code there are multiple. Right now when you use lang is an attribute, right? And character set is an attribute, name is an attribute, content is an attribute. What they do, they add some special value to the to that element. Okay, so if you see, we can use wherever we use the start tag, inside the start tag we specify the attributes. So if you see, this is the starting tag. It does not contain any backslash, right? And here, let's see one more example. So inside this body, I'll use another tag, a tag. So just type a and press enter. So you can see now A is containing starting element and end element, open and close tag, open and close tag. So here I simply type google.com. Simply I'll type google.com and right click and click on live preview. So you can see that there is a underline and here there is a content and here there is a paragraph. But whenever I use a tag, a means anchor. Anchor tag is used to click on a link. So for example, you see when you hover the cursor, the symbol is getting changed to hand symbol. Okay. So why it is getting changed? Because we are using an anchor tag. So what does anchor tag does? When you click on this, if you go to some web pages, right? Like go back to this. I'll just type gmail.com or google.com, and here you see whenever I click on this, whenever I click on store, it goes to some other page. It goes to some other page. So how is that happening? It is happening because of the anchor tag. So what we need to understand here, the attribute. Href is the attribute, and every attribute contains key and value. Href is a key, and what is the value? That means when a customer or a user clicks on google.com, where we need to go, right? That link we need to type https colon google.com. Okay, so now I have given the key as the attribute, which is href, and the value is this one. Save this, right click on this and click on live preview. And now you can see there is a google.com, and click on that. It is asking, since we are using live preview, it will ask to open in a new tab. Okay, you can see google.com is now open, and you can click on store. You can copy this link, and if you want to add one more link, you can type. Okay, so what I'll do, a tag, press enter. I'll say google store and paste the link here. Okay, so here the link is very big, or simply you can type store.google.com. You can take this entire other values out, save this, and click on live preview. And if you want the next link to be in the next line, simply type BR. BR stands for break. Okay, BR stands for break. Right click, show live preview. Okay, it comes in next line. Click on Google Store. It will ask a tab. Click open externally. You can see it opens the same page. So basically, we need to understand that all the attributes are specified in the start tag of the element. Attributes are always specified in key value. So you can see here in this example, href is the key, this is the value. Href is the key, this is the value. Here you can see name is the key and viewport is the value. So likewise, an anchor tag will have its own attributes. An image tag will have its own attribute. Image, whenever we use the image topic, we will cover that. So image is basically if you want to display some images on the browser on a web page, we will use image tag. An image will have src as the attribute, width as the attribute, height as the attribute, and there are also some other attributes which we will discuss in future. Okay, so you can see now we have title attribute, src, height and width, and alt. Okay, so let's use this where we use the title attribute and where we use src, height and width and alt, we will see now. Okay, all right, so here in the same page, or we'll go to the next page, I'll type second page dot html. So in the second page, again HTML5. Why I'm using the different page? Basically, we will get practice how to create pages, and again to remember this structure or the shortcuts HTML:5. So in this, I'm going to explain attributes, right? So I'll say attribute page, okay, and save this. So right click, live preview. So your title will say, the page title will say attribute page. Okay. So now in few minutes back, we have seen a H1 example. Here I'll type second web page and save this. So now here for a H1, I can use something called as title attribute. I can use something called as title attribute. So title attribute is a key, and what is the value? So this is a second web page. Should be in double quotes. Okay. So what I have written, title, this is the second web page. And what happens if you write this title, we will see. Right click and click on live preview. Okay, now we see the content and just hover on it for a second. You see, this is a second web page. So some websites, they want title, the content to be displayed in a shorter, but maybe they want to give some explanation that okay, this is the second web page, or this is a second web page title with more grammar, right? So that's where you use this title attribute, right? And you can use this for the paragraph or iframes that we will see in a future. All right, so title is one attribute. This title is different, this is a element, okay? Understand, this is a element and this is the title is the attribute where we use inside the opening tag. So next we have src and height and width and alt. So these what it says, src specifies the location and the file name of the image. So mostly we will use src height, width, alt inside the image element. So let's see how to use that. Okay, so first of all, if I want to have an image on a web page, so you can see inside a demo site folder, I need to have one images. Okay, one image. So how do I get that image? So if I go back to this and in my system, I have it in downloads. I have downloaded one image called color1.jpg. Just drag and drop this here. So you can see there is an image available. So JPEG is the extension. For a HTML page, the extension is .html. For an image, the extension is .jpg. And if you want to rename the image name, you can just right click and rename colorful image. Colorful image. I can say colorful image. Okay. Now you can see there is the image available. Now go back to the page. Go back to the page. To use an image inside a web page, you simply type img. You simply type img. Now you can see here by default, image is saying that I need source attribute and alt attribute. By default, I need source attribute, src attribute, and alt attribute. So src meaning you need to just give the image name. So I will type colorful. The beauty of visual code is you no need to type entire thing. You see, I type col, it automatically recognizes the images which are available inside this folder. Okay, so I'll just simply select it. Now Control S save, and we know right click, show preview. You can see the image is very big. Okay, you can see the image is very big. Now if I want to reduce the height or width, then we are going to use another attribute, that is height attribute, height, and type 150 pixel. Okay, so 150 pixel, what is pixels, we will see in future, but right now it is the dimension in a web page. Okay, so height, Control S, and again show preview. Okay, now you can see second web page, the height of the image is 150 pixel. The height of the image is 150 pixel. Now as we can also write the width as 100 pixel, save and preview. So it is getting narrowed. Maybe we can change it to 200 or 150. Okay. So right now we have seen src, height attribute and width attribute. So let's understand what is the importance of alt attribute. Okay. So this is something very important. Alt is, right now you have the image, it is displaying. Maybe in your system you have mentioned the wrong name, or if this file is deleted, right? So let's save this one and click on show preview. So you can see we have the height and width, but what image is missing? What image is missing, we don't know, right? And here, to explain some title or some explanation, you use alternative text. So I'll say colorful image, colorful image. So now again right click and live preview. You can see that colorful image is missing. Why it is saying this text? Because we have given a wrong name. That's why whenever someone deletes the asset in your project, or when some typo is there in the image, then this alt text will be displayed. Okay. So it is always good to write alternative text. Okay. And it is also important for the ADA compliance. What is ADA compliance? We will see soon. Okay. All right. So these are the four attributes that we have seen right now, but every HTML element will have some important attributes that we will see. Okay. So we have just seen the demo that how to create image attribute and how to use other attributes. All right. Now we understand some basic concept like H1 we have seen, but we'll go deeper. Okay. So what are content tags? So if you go to any website like today's news, right? So you go to any website. I'll go here. Maybe this is not the right website. You can go to Fox News. So if you see here, every web page, they have some, when you click on some article, so they have some headings here. They have some headings. Just click on this. Okay, we have some headings and there is some paragraph, right? This is a paragraph and this is also a paragraph. Likewise, we have some content in a web page. So whenever we want to display some headings and paragraphs, we use content tags. Okay. So we have H1 to H6 are the six tags, and H1 is basically a bigger font size. H6 is the smaller font size, and P is indicates paragraph. Whenever we want to write multiple lines, P tag is used, and pre tag will display the pre-formatted text. What is pre-formatted, we will see shortly. Okay. All right. We also use some horizontal line. So once we understand the practicals, then it is easy to understand. So let's go here. So I'll go here again and I use content page, content tags dot html, content tags dot html. Simply type html:5, enter. So I'll say content tags as my page name. So here I want to type some h1 and press enter. This is first heading. This is first heading, and I'll type h2. This is second heading. Likewise, you can use h3. This is third heading, and go to the end, type h4. This is fourth heading, h5. This is fifth heading. So imagine this is like a news website and you have multiple headings and you're going to use like this. This is sixth heading. Okay, save this. and you can better open in a page, demo site, content tags. So now you can see the first heading which displays using H1, which is bigger font size, and if you keep on going the font size is reducing, right? And we only have six H1 tags. So someone asked in the previously, oh, can I use H7, H8? No. So in the HTML concepts, we only have H1 to H6. H1 indicates the bigger font size, H6 indicate the smaller font size. So if you go back to the previous example, like the Fox News, you can see this is which heading it is, right? So I'll just right click on this. When you select any news, just right click on this, click on inspect. So when you click on inspect, it shows which heading it, which element they are using, right? So they are using H1. Just after the H1 they are using H2 subheading. Always remember that it's better to use in a sequence. Okay, you cannot use H1 and then H6 and then H3. So always our website should contain the elements in the sequence. And now we have H1 to H6, six different headings, right? So let's suppose say I want to create a paragraph after each heading. Yes, you can create that by simply typing P enter. So para means it should contain some number of lines, right? So you can actually type this is a para for a long time. But if you don't want to waste the time, right, you can simply use something called as lorem, Lorem. So what is lorem? It is basically a dummy data. It is a simple uh, concept that if you want to use somewhere some paragraph, it generates some dummy paragraph. Okay, and since the content is huge, it is continuing in the same line. To wrap this, simply click on view and click on word wrap. So click on view menu and click on word wrap, and you can see it is containing a paragraph. Likewise, after this first para, I'll say something. This is para 1. Okay, this is para 1. So altogether, this is one paragraph, and you can go back to any next line after the heading 2. Again, PL enter. So I'll type LOREM lorem enter, and now it generates the another paragraph. So I'll just give some title. This is para 2. This is para 2. Control S. Go back to the page. Content tags. So you can see now our web page contains one heading and one paragraph. This is the second heading. This is the second paragraph. So we have seen H1 to H6. We have seen the paragraph tag. Now let's understand pre-formatted. What is a pre-formatted? So let's go to the heading 3, and here I'll type some P enter. Or you can see first understand the concept on the second paragraph itself. In the paragraph, what I will do, I'll press enter, enter, enter. Okay. And then I'll use some space here. I want some heading like this. Okay. Maybe some heading like this. If you see, the difference is in a paragraph, I just press enter, enter, enter. There are three empty lines. And then there is a tab here. There is a tab here. There is a tab here. But if I save this, click on file, click on save, and go back to the page, refresh, there is no difference, right? So our browser, the paragraph tag will trim off, will take out all the empty spaces here and empty lines, and it will execute in a proper manner. Whereas if I simply copy this, right click and copy this and place after this and type paragraph 3. So after heading 3, I'm using p tag. Instead of p, just replace with pre. Just replace with pre. So pre-formatted, this is paragraph, pre-formatted, and save this. Okay, go back to this and refresh. You can see it is not removing the lines, it is not removing the tab. It executes in the same fashion. So it is not basically cleaning up the data. So pre-formatted we will use whenever we write some code lines that we'll see in future. But remember, pre-tag is also a content tag which we want to display without formatting. Okay, next we have the last one under content. There are a lot actually, but these are the main elements. So we'll use horizontal line. So after every heading, like we have one paragraph and one heading, after this I want to create a line. Simply type HR, enter. HR indicates horizontal ruler. Okay, and after heading 2 and paragraph, I'll type HR. After heading 3 and pre-tag, I'll type HR. So go save this and go back to the page, refresh. You can see there is a ruler applied, HR, HR, HR. So these are lines. Okay, now why we need, like we have seen some difference, right? H1 to H6, there is a font size difference. So basically, on the by default they are measured in 2 em. Okay, so em is another dimension that to measure our size. So, or if you convert this em to pixels, h1 font size is 32 pixel, h2 font size is 24. Likewise, h6 represents 10.72 pixels. So how do we find that? Where do we find that? So go to your web page and you can see this is the heading. We know right now by seeing this, I cannot say this is H1 or this H2 or H3. Simply right click and inspect. Okay, so you can see this is the H1. On the right side, you can see there is some styles here. Okay, so H1 font size is 2em. Okay, H1 font size is 2em.